Hello and welcome to another update on the NASDAQ. I'm here on the NASDAQ daily chart. I'm reviewing my counts at the moment, and I'd like to make a change actually here about the daily chart. Just because it's always kind of been a bit annoying that the NDX NASDAQ can be counted as a potential, technically it can be counted as an impulse from the 2022, 2023 lows, whereas the SPX, for example, can't. And it can only really be interpreted as an impulse if you view this here as a truncated low, end of 2022, early 2023. And this is just, it's not ideal, and it's more like an exceptional thing. So with the structure that I see right now, with new data coming in, I intend to align it with the SPX chart. So I thought instead of doing this in silence, I'm going to communicate what I'm doing here and go with, go through the count basically with you here that we are tracking. So until now, I saw the wave 4 low that, this larger correction right from the 2021 high as completed here in 2022, which is a bit annoying, which also is slightly different from the futures. So this here also aligns it with the NQ futures I'm tracking. And it kind of makes more sense to really see this entire move up as an ending diagonal pattern from the 2022 low. And I would shift then the wave 1 up here, the wave 2 to the October 2023 low. And this move up then in wave, and I'm going to change it to white. And this also aligns much better with the depth of the pullback in April 2025. I mean, there were ways around it, but it was just not ideal. So I can easily call this then an ABC structure in wave 1. That also simplifies, even though it's a diagonal pattern, but it kind of simplifies the entire move up from the April low. Yeah. So I view this move to the upside from the 2022 low as a potential upside diagonal pattern, 3 waves up into the July 2023 highs. So you can also quite nicely count this properly. 3 waves up in wave A, right? And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in wave C of 1. Then we had here a wave 2 pullback. This here as well, an ABC structure to the upside in the 3rd wave. A, B, oops. But it's a short C wave though. That's the only thing which doesn't really fit perfectly. But, it's not necessarily about perfection. But it also gives me a 5 wave move in this C wave. So then we had an ABC down in wave 4. And now this is where it simplifies it a little bit, because until now I had to fight with 3 wave structures here. Now I can simplify it to 2. And so this kind of is aligned with the SPX chart now, where I can call the move to the upside from the 2025 April low, an ABC structure. I had it before, but there was another count, a 3rd count, which I have now removed from the chart. So let's take a look at this. I mean, first of all, before we really dive into the structures here to the upside, let's define what would be an ideal target for that 5th wave to the upside. So again, the April low would be a 4th wave, and we see the 5th wave as an ABC structure, and we can measure Fibonacci extensions from the 2022 low. And so we measure the length of the wave 1, which topped around $15,930. We go to the low of the wave 2, and then we can define standard Fibonacci extensions. Now, what I would normally like to see in a 5th wave is, I'd say, at least the 138% extension, $24,978. So if we get there in a direct fashion, this could complete the entire move up from the 2022 low. A major top potentially, yeah? And then we can start a large correction as like on the SPX chart. If we don't get there, and we start a deeper pullback now, then I'm more inclined to see this as an extension, as shown in orange, which is also what I'm tracking on the SPX chart. And then this entire rally will likely top a little later. So that means we now need to work on the microstructures in this move up. They're basically unchanged. There might be some shifts on the nanostructure level. That means also this orange wave B can basically start at any point, right? And only below 17,918, we really have a confirmation for a major top. But even a dip just into this zone can be a 15 to 20% decline. Now, when we talk about more, let's say the microstructure side, I have labeled it like this on the SPX chart now. So this is basically how I have it on the SPX chart, an ABC, and the C wave is still unfolding, and we might currently be working on this fourth, for example, still. Yeah, it's not the cleanest. And it's quite a messy structure, but it could be this. We're working on this fourth wave, and that allows me to add support. And we'll go to the 4-hour chart as well. This structure is just not super clear. It could even turn into a triangle. Main takeaway here is that ideally we're holding above $22,720 based on this scenario, based on this wave structure, plus minus a few dollars. Yeah. And then the question then is here on the shorter time frame. I mean, how exactly is this unfolding? I mean, this is only really the larger time frame. Don't want to get too much into micro counts here. Could be that this B wave is still unfolding. Maybe we're forming some kind of a triangle here. Main takeaway is this is seen as a wave 4 at the moment, as long as we're holding that $22,700 level. And one more high could take us to that 138% extension, and that would actually be ideal. That would actually be ideal to, yeah, let's say, view the requirements of the move up from the April low and the 2022 low as fulfilled. But if we break below support now, I think then we might need another B-C pattern. Please note that even if we get that higher push, it doesn't rule out orange, okay? But it just means that maybe a little bit more likely that we've actually completed this 5-wave move from the 2022 low, which means we're still holding above upper support. I cannot rule out other interpretations, but I tried to simplify it. I tried to simplify it because, yeah, I mean, please note that there is not really a lot of structure to work with from the April low. It's quite messy. I mean, this A wave is an ABC structure, but the problem is it's not a high confidence scenario overall, because, I mean, this B is really short for a B wave, but in my view, the best way of counting this move up. Again, that might change, but for now, this is sort of my perspective. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks so much. And yeah, have a great day. Bye-bye.